Hey, my friends, this is going to be another really quick video because dinner is a cooking. And I just wanted to touch base a little bit about the King, Queen, and Jack of Clubs because ever since it was the King of Clubs, it's been kind of a shitstorm. And today it really, really resolved. Yesterday was the download day, taking a look at trauma, and today just a very nice, even kind of clarity. So, what I want to say about what's kind of up right now, and especially starting with that King of Clubs, now that we're into the clubs, you could say the statement is, I know. What do I know? What do I believe? It's all in the realm of consciousness, clubs, the air element. And I cannot highly enough recommend listening to some Eckhart Tolle or doing some meditation. Um, this morning I got on with Dr. Sue and she gave me a gong bath. And, the sound didn't come through very well because it's a very different kind of sound, but I felt the shift and it was like, oh my God, it completely shifted my whole day. It's exactly what I needed. It's like all my fur had been matted down with all this intense stuff that's been coming up the last few days. I'd like to know what's up astrologically, but anyway, entering into the clubs, we are dealing with that part of us that says, I know and I believe. And it's very tricky. It's a very tricky area because like I had this discussion with my very dear 8 of Hearts friend on the Queen of Clubs day, and we came up with this truth that there is objective reality. And right now there's a lot of disagreement about what that objective reality is. And then there's the whole layer of what's my truth versus what's your truth. Hey, nice to see you here, Pete. Yeah, isn't he a strange looking, amazing person? It's like he's an alien or something. I love watching him. I'm so amused by him, and I'm so amused by how he's amused by the mind. He's gotten so much different distance from the mind. Yes, there truly is the uplifted energy of the Buddhists that is like they have this belief in basic goodness, and they start from there. We all have basic goodness, and we've been pretty injected in the Western world with the idea of original sin, and we think a lot about how fucked up we are and stuff like that, and it's so destructive and negative and sad. But so in the realm of belief, the realm of, I think, I believe, I know, this kind of thing, I've just had download after download after download about those different layers of objective reality and subjective knowing. And since the king rules this new club chapter that we're in for, the next 10 days from here on out, I want to share this vision that I had. There was a point at which this is totally woo-woo, but I was sitting and I was looking at the cards. I had been studying for 16 years, and I had a truly metaphysical experience at Panera. I was at Panera with my son today, and they came through and they kind of said, "You're in. We're going to start to download you with information directly from, I don't know, from whatever." And it's been good information ever since. And that was like maybe between 10 and 15 years ago. And they gave me an image of all of the kings that were crying. We don't think of kings as crying. We don't think of people who are kings as having humility. But each one is in service to something. And if we interpret, I always think, do we interpret the cards through the eyes of spirit or through the eyes of ego? We're all expressing every one of these 52 cards with the energies of ego and spirit. That's just how it is. But if the king is in service, if the king of clubs is in service, in a service mode, he doesn't want to steal your reality. He doesn't want to take your truth. He doesn't want to like confront you and be an asshole. And what's really funny is that people who are the king of clubs go back and forth between, why doesn't everybody see it this way? It's so obvious. And there's this condescending arrogance of this is how it is. And the other extreme, they have two polarities within the ego. The other polarity is I can't think for myself, and I have to constantly be reaching out to my external to know anything. Um, but the center, and this is this very, very important download I got years ago. They showed me the king of clubs sits at a round table with all the other kings of clubs. We're all the king of clubs. And it is one of the most common cards in the deck. There's 12 birthdays that are the king of clubs. There's one birthday that's the king of spades. So just, there is a big bell curve. So king of clubs is at the very top with ace of diamonds, queen of clubs, two of diamonds. He's sitting at a round table with all of the other kings, and they showed me there was this vertical line going through every king. They were aligned with themselves, with source, with their higher guidance, with their oversoul, their high, whatever, when you own that and you're like, that's my higher self, that's my stream, that's my source, aligning that way. We tend to be really fixated on the horizontal. What are they saying? And, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, most news, any news is he said, she said, and then he said, she said about what he said, she said. And they're saying, and then he said, and I'm like, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. I don't care what he said. I mean, sometimes that's important, but like, really? So anyway, so there's the horizontal alignment with each individual, and they're all connected to each other through the heart. But the mind is vertically aligned. So we unite through the heart. We have distinctions with the mind. And I'm not going to harp on your truth and his truth and, that kind of thing. But when you do take the king of clubs into a mastery of one's own subjective truth, doing the inner work of, do you know what you know? And it's not about being sure of yourself. It's about honoring your internal witness. Well, here's my take on it, and not getting so easily blown over by somebody else's take on it or the energies around this. It's like, can you come from this quiet place of, well, here's my take on it, and can you honor that? So this whole period of the club's journey from 2 days ago till we get down to the ace of clubs here in 10 days, can you honor your experience and honor the experience of everyone else? So what is the gift that the clubs give to us? The gift that, oh, you're so funny. No readings. No, this is me doing a talk about, today is the jack of clubs. And because I didn't talk about the king, queen, or jack, I'm sort of just talking about the clubs. And I usually take questions at the end, but I won't have time for that. So you're free to go if you want, Pete. I really don't care. I get it. I love your energy on the show. It's great. So anyway, continuing about the clubs. Honoring everybody else's truth. Okay, thank you. The true king can honor and uplift and strengthen the subjective reality of another person. So, like, here's an example. If they're, like a child comes home from school and they've had this experience and they've been bullied and, they got in trouble. And they were part of it. They had their part to play, but they come home and they're like, teacher got mad at me today, and then those kids were really mean to me. And the parent, the healthy, good parent, ideally, will say, please tell me more. It sounds like you were really, the reflective listening, it sounds like you had a really bad day. It sounds like some kids were mean to you. It sounds like you were really upset about that teacher. And if you can reflect with clarity, and without judgment, interpretation, I know it's hard, but if you can just listen and create this container for a person, then eventually they'll get to their own truth. And, you might think, well, the important thing for him to realize is he has to respect authority. Like if you're a 6 on the Enneagram. If you're a 9 on the Enneagram, Your priority is going to be like, oh, you need to figure out how to get along with everyone and not make waves. If you're an 8, your priority is going to be, what did those kids do to you? Did you tell them the truth? Were you truthing them? So, your take on that kid's situation is your take. What's their take? What are they going to take away from it? It's based on their dance with DNA, their card, their enneatype. And maybe what they needed to learn was that there's a consequence for starting a fight. Maybe they needed to learn that the teacher was going to create a safe space for everyone and treat everyone with justice. Or, God knows. So the subjective reality, let's not call it reality. Let's say my subjective consciousness, my subjective story that I'm taking from it. Can we, because I got so loved up and so fluffed up by Dr. Sue, and Pete knows who I'm talking about. He saw the interview on Alex's channel. I just needed some mama, and we had a back and forth, and I walked away from that feeling because of how loved I felt, how ridiculous it is to get really uptight about different people thinking different things, different belief systems, different ideas. And, as the Jack of Diamonds, the United States has the King of Clubs right next to it. So it's a modus operandi for the United States to say, well, tell me about where did you go to school? Tell me about your education. What's your training? What's your background? Who did you study with? But we also are information junkies. We love to learn. The more we know, the better we feel. And it's always talk, 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 talk. And it's this surface level of the King of Clubs. But if we can, as a country, learn to take that king into a deeper energy, come from a deeper place where we say, how can I support you in your own story? Here's where I am in my story. And thank God for AA and things like the talking stick, because it's a container that has taught us the importance of just witnessing what someone else has to say. So what do we have to say about the Queen of Clubs yesterday? I made a whole video on trauma, and that's in my other channel. It was a lot of people, trauma was massively up. So I'm not going to talk about that too much. But the Jack of Clubs today, Jacks are more playful. They're genius. They don't have to care. So if you found yourself being a little bit of a rebel today, or saying, I don't have to care about such and such, or I'm just going to be a little less attached to this and this, it might have made it a little easier. The home position of the Jack of Clubs is Mars. So for you card studiers, to learn about the true nature of a card, I come over to the spiritual spread and I look for the intersection. Oh, that's so cool, Pete. Okay, so it's Mars, Jupiter. Mars and Jupiter. Mars is the doer. And vertical, it's divine action. What's the divine right action? And Jupiter is, how can this benefit everyone, and how can we include everyone? There's planetary language. There's an astrological lexicon. This system is based on numbers, astrology, planets, sacred geometry, probably some other stuff. Probably some really, really freaking multi-dimensional woo-woo stuff. I think it is a multi-dimensional model that has been compressed onto a two-dimensional surface. And I'm beginning to discover this. Yeah. Very astrologically informed. So Jupiter is about including everybody. Mars is divine right action. So, Jack of Clubs, this is Stuart's daughter's birthday today, and she really does. She's like, what are we going to do to get the gang together, get everyone together? And there's that, the really exciting thing about Jack of Clubs is their capacity to just come up with shit out of nowhere. This Uranian genius that they've got. So over here, they're living in Uranus. They're living in the Jack of Diamonds position. They're living in Uranus, Venus. This makes them really good lovers too, because they love their friends. Friendship and love is very important, and the Uranus is like, let's be original, let's be a little outrageous, let's be rebels, you know. So yeah, this would be a really, really good day to just like go crazy with your friends, you know. Well, that's because I don't want to say Uranus, because there's the urine, and the Uranus, because there's the anus. So that's why I say Uranus. It's the only reason. Because my ADD just because it's like, oh, is anyone going to notice that? And it's like really distracting. So that's the only reason I do that. And technically, it does mean the root of the word does have to do with urine. There's some mythological story there. So the Jack of Clubs, if there's any of you out there, I want to tell you, and maybe I'll pin a comment, that at 16 minutes, I started going a little bit more into the Jack of Clubs. Okay. And I'll figure out how to pin that later. Oh, look it, there's a little thingy. Pin message. Yep, I'm getting better, learning stuff. That's a good Jack thing too. It's like be a child, be okay with learning, be the student. The student. It's the archetype of the student. The king is the teacher, the queen is the advocate, and the Jack is the student. So there's a learning and a humble energy. And that humble energy it can turn into a lack of confidence. Any club male, and this isn't you, Pete, you're a diamond, you're 6 of diamonds, but any club male is going to resonate with the Jack of clubs. So this is relevant to all club men. The confidence thing is huge because the first 3 cards in their descending hand is a 9, a 7, and a 2. This 9 of diamonds is poverty of self, poverty of consciousness, maybe a very significant loss in the first 7 or 13 years of life, which is true of his daughter. The 7 of spades is it's an awareness of, well, I'm a 7 of diamonds. You're a 6 of diamonds. I thought you were asking about you and me. That's hilarious. I'm like, I'm married, dude. That's hilarious. Well, we're gonna feel like siblings because 6 and 7 next to each other. Oh, that's so hilarious. I'm so embarrassed. She's 5'11", 90. I know, isn't that hilarious? Okay, May 11th. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, oh. Venus, you have past life Venus. Yes, so that's very good for love and friendship because that's the 8 of diamonds. So 6 of diamonds, 8 of diamonds. And you being a 6, you're going to be okay not driving the vehicle. And she's going to want to. So that's a good match. 8s are into power and control, and it's their love language. You got to call her on that sometimes. But yeah, 8s feel responsible to make sure that everybody is okay. And 6s are just like, what's the plan? Just let me know. Yeah. And you let her, and that's a good match, you know. And I would imagine that when it comes right down to it, and you have to take control and say something, you will. You've got an 8 of clubs right next to you. So the 8 of clubs is like, no, girlfriend. And I hope that it's funny most of the time because it was like she'd probably get really exasperated, and you'd be like, no, dude. Yeah, I get this phlegmatic personality energy from you, so you're comfortable with, yeah. And she needs to feel safe. She needs to feel someone that is reliable, because as an 8 of diamonds female, she probably had a family where somebody wasn't reliable, or there was rigid expectations or something like that. Okay, right. And that's good because, you know, leadership is a form of service. So I really enjoyed giving you that teeny little free reading tidbit. You're so funny how you snuck that in there. Okay, So the Jack of Clubs, yeah, they have to go through this lack of confidence. So the Seven of Spades is it's a perfectionism that dogs them, and the Two of Clubs can become this very negative. No, of course not. What do you think? I mean, you're going to have to deal with that. Everyone's got that question. Am I being strong enough? Am I weak? That's just kind of a fundamental relationship question. But another question might be, did you have a really powerful woman growing up in your life? And was that, what are you working out there? No, it doesn't mean you're weak. Yeah, I don't think you are, because I know you really well. You can trust that. Okay, so this Two of Clubs can be this negative. There you go. Tell me her birthday, meaning your mom. Okay, so the Two of Clubs can be this negative back and forth in your head, but the King of Clubs represents a graduation to confidence in your own subjective reality. I'm clear about what I think. I believe what I believe. I don't believe that. I do believe that. And I'm good with that. Isn't that good? I'm going to say that more often because I have experienced today as a wonderful day. So if you go, oh, do I have my, yeah, I got batteries good. So if we go up, then this Nine of Diamonds becomes this knowing that I am of infinite value and I have so much to give. My bucket got filled up by Dr. Seuss, so it was really easy for me to just bless everyone that I was with. It was awesome. I was really present with my son and asked him a lot of questions, and I was a good mom. And then that Queen of Spades there, the Queen of Spades becomes the Mercury card, and instead of needing a strong woman to come in and take things over, because that's very common with Jack of Clubs, it becomes the choice of self-mastery and giving that message out to others as well. I'm taking responsibility. I speak in a way that is clear that I take responsibility for my stuff. Stuart and I have come across just the whole realm of differentiation and codependence this past year. And he's reading Passionate Marriage, and I'm reading Codependent No More. And to be able to come into a conversation and say, here's my part, and that's all I get to speak to. That Jack of Clubs has the capacity to mature into an incredibly generous, gracious partner. Right? Are you listening?
I'm cutting up apples for the pork.
Okay. Okay, so your mom is 6'11". Oh, that's hilarious. You see his little hands cutting things. Stuart, would you like to say hello? Look at the camera. Oh, there he is. He's a Three of Clubs. Okay.
Grandpa's knife. It's been sharpened so long. Look, it ain't anymore.
He's very excited about that knife. Yes, he likes old things. Okay, so 6'11", your mom's birthday. Isn't there an interesting parallel with the 5'11" and the 6'11", right? Okay, so 6'11". Oh. I think she's your card because 6'10" is the 7 of diamonds. Yes, your mom is the same card as you. Is that insane? Right. It's Pete says that was an infomercial for the knife. Would you like to do a Danish infomercial for the knife? Can you? Would you do it? Honey, there's only like one person. It's just you and me and Pete. No. Seriously, no? You won't do it. When he imitates the Dane, oh my God.
My name is Uhtred.
Uhtred.
Uhtred, son of Uhtred.
Yes.
Daughter of Uhtred, because I'm a little bit day, you know.
So your
These
mother...
days in Sweden or Norway or Denmark, there's a lot of days.
So was your mother and your father named Uhtred?
Yes, Uhtred. Kind of like the Bob, what was that? Bob Newhart show, the Bob and Bob. Oh God! All right.
Oh, I can't wait to watch more Uhtred. I just love The Last Kingdom. I hate violence, but for some reason I love that show right now. Uhtred. Where's Inga and Boris? He says, great accents. Yeah, your mom and you are the same card, dude. Yeah, no one's online. Maybe the weather is generally good. People are like, I'm outside. I'm going out for beers. Fuck YouTube. There's just the three of us here. It's hilarious. Okay, so yeah, her planetary ruler is going to be different from yours though, because as a 219 six of diamonds, you're an Aquarius. So Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. You're also the ace of diamonds and the king of diamonds. Wow, triple diamond. Whereas she is the four of spades. So that's more about taking action, in the eight of clubs. Oh my god. That's it. That's it. Oh, 611? No, you're 219, right? Well, you're on the cusp. So I have to know technically what you are. But the point here is about your mom. This is the really fascinating part, is that your mom, so as the six of diamonds, if she's the ascending hand is this eight of clubs, but that eight of clubs is like really, really powerful. Oh, Kim. Right on. We'll keep talking about jack of clubs then. Yeah, you're cuspy. But according to this system, it's helpful if you are exactly one or the other. You're close to the cusp, but you're one or the other. So like, you'd have to find out. But anyway, your mom, that's where that controlling thing comes from, and that's why you hooked up with an 8. Is because your mom really, so she probably had a very regimented childhood for you and made sure that, now we're going to make sure we have the coat and the mittens and the hat and boots and, okay, do we have all of our things together? And like, I'm just getting this hit that your mom was like, let's just make sure we're prepared. And I've made the bean salad and okay, Bob, are you ready? Let's go. His sister's the six of diamonds and I love her to death. And that she was always the one managing all the outings and everything. And it's that 8 of clubs. And it kept you safe. It made you feel safe, didn't it? So that's what you're looking for. A good woman to say, I got this. I've figured it all out. I've looked at the big picture.
A woman who say, you can't go out with those socks not being matched. I don't care. Get the laundry done and match your socks up before you put them on.
I don't know if she's making him keep his shit together that way. No, it's not a meticulous Virgo kind of thing. It's more like just managing and looking at the big picture. Okay, so Kim, when is your birthday? You're a jack of clubs. So the upside for the jack of clubs is I'm going to talk about your ascension hand. So you may have been through this slew of self-doubt, this sewage, this what do you call that, honey? Like one of those sloughs that's like water that doesn't get any movement. Stagnant. What do you call one of those bodies of water? A slough.
Backwater, eddy.
See, there's a word I came up with a long time ago. I can't remember.
Oxbow means it's been cut off from the river.
But it is, okay, 1119. So anyway, it's this fetid swamp. That's what it is. It's the swamp of self-doubt. God, it's been like 15 years. I finally remembered that phrase. Before you get to this confidence, okay, so you've been through that and everything, and you've got a sense of humor. That jack of clubs, it's always good to have a jack in the group because they lighten things up. They're like, do we have to be really serious about this? Can we just, So so that queen of spades in the moon position can be this message that's like, you're whipping yourself. I've got to be more responsible, especially the women. The men just get a powerful woman into their lives, but the women feel that they have to become that queen of spades. So the female jack of clubs are very different from the male jack of clubs because they identify with the queen. There are some men jack of clubs that like some heavy responsibility was put on them early in life and like nobody knew about it, and it made them grow up into the king. And they weren't just the jack. And the real life example is an actor that I really don't like, but I gotta give him credit. Ben Affleck. I think his mother passed away and he had to raise his younger brother. And I was like, oh, he had to become the mother, the moon card, the queen of spades. So I'm sure it was really hard, but it made him, the less typical jack of clubs. The more, and you look at him, he's more serious. He kind of wears that. But the nice thing about jacks is that they generally get to be really lighthearted. So what I do, Kim, is I go up north here. I reverse it to get the ascension hand. So then she becomes your voice, that queen of spades, and then you go up. Try going up to the Saturn line, 5 of diamonds, 7 of clubs. So it'd be Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. So let's see. Saturn's always interesting. Do you want to ask me a question, Kim, about any particular aspect of your life as a Jack of Clubs, and I can help you think about it? So Uhtred went out to the garage, and now dinner has been delayed. He's always waiting for me. Okay, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. Okay, so the invitation is to become an artist, to take yourself seriously enough to know that you have something very original and amazing to offer and to actuate it. Don't talk about it, don't argue about it, don't have dramas about it. Just do it. And the Three of Spades, just do it card here, this invitation to mastery around taking action, is the karma card to the Jack of Diamonds, which is the karma card to the Jack of Clubs. So there's a circle there with being an entrepreneur. Ooh. And that's the United States, the Jack of Diamonds. Oh, nice. So it's safe to say our lives are already planned out. It's not about the. Oh, that's a very compelling question. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Live stream. So that's a very compelling question, Pete. And thank you for asking that because, like I say, you're the kid in the back of the class sipping a beer, but you're not Spicoli. You're not drunk. You're just that guy who's throwing out the questions to kind of stimulate the conversation a little bit. You're like the professional YouTube comment guy. Um, that's very cool. We can get more into that later and what that's about. But of course, it's about the decisions you make. It's not a maze. There are a lot of choices. It's not just like one way. There are certain things that are destined. And I have also studied extensively. Some of you are probably aware of the author Michael Newton. He wrote Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls. And he basically learns this hypnosis technique where he takes a client through a past life, through their death, and then what's after. And he does this with tons and tons and tons of clients until he gets these very consistent messages about the anatomy of the between life state. And we make a lot of choices for ourselves. The decisions have already been made by us, a lot of them. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to pick this birth card. I'm going to pick this country, this body. Like there are a couple choices, okay, so you're going to get in the timeline here. You can live in Australia. You can be in Detroit or Capistrano, and you pick one of them based on how it's going to serve your soul intention. So what's original to you always, and you and only you, is your intention. Before you came here, what am I going to accomplish with this life? And then, there's a lot of stuff that's just up for grabs, and there are things that are planned. This relationship, this job, this crisis, this abuse, this trauma, this move, all these various things to, it's the material that we work with so that we can grow. It's all about growing. But you sound like you're concerned about your freedom, and I am too. Okay. Yeah, you are. I love that. That's the Eight of Clubs. I would recommend studying the Akashic Records, Pete, because the Eight of Clubs it represents the Akash. Kim says Three of Spades is my ex. Oh, interesting. The Queen of Club. Well, that's actually, I went heavily into the Queen of Clubs, at least the trauma, the awareness of trauma that it brought up on my other channel. And there's a link on there. It's a very short video, but no, I will talk more about the Queen of Clubs another time because I have a lot of really close friends that are King of Clubs, Queen of Clubs, and my best friend is the Queen of Clubs, and Dr. Sue is the Queen of Clubs. So the Three of Spades ex-husband was your invitation. Yes, Kim. If you go into my playlist, there's a whole thing that I have there on the talks I give on all the court cards. And I give a video each on each Jack, Queen, and King. And it's really useful to look at the court cards of your suit because the Jack is your adolescent or your free intuitive self or the inner child. You look at the Jack of your suit and it's going to tell you about your childhood in some very broad strokes. The Queen is the one-on-one, the nurturer, the mentor, the teacher, which, a man can be too. And the King is when you have people under you and you're in charge and you're in a leadership position or you're an adult man. So what was your Three of Spades X an invitation to for you, to actuate in your life, to bring forth that which is in you into the world? And that doesn't mean that, he had it together. It was just, it's just a question to ask. Can you touch on karma cards as far as the personality cards? As a woman, I know I'm the queen, and a business owner, yeah, the king, and the creative is the jack. Okay. Yeah, I know. Queen of Clubs are awesome, aren't they? They're super intense. I was born in the hour, and I just had some guy who was a Seven of Diamonds contact me out of the blue, read my book, loved it, wanted me to edit it. He wanted to edit it. He's super intense, and he said he figured out you're born in the hour of the Queen of Clubs, and I'm like, really? So I don't know how you figure that. If anyone knows how to figure that out, I would really like to figure that out because it gives you a whole new card. So I'm the Queen of Clubs based on the hour I was born. And I don't think of them as karma cards in terms of anything negative. Always think in terms of, if I came from a place of enlightened love before I came here, I wanted to balance something out with somebody. So maybe I persecuted Hindus in a past life, so I want to experience being a Hindu this time around. Or this person took care of me in my illness, I want to take care of them in their time of need, vice versa. And it takes a lot of forms, but a card that's under you or above you, I always ask the question, what can I learn from them? What do I have to teach them? There's a giving and a receiving. It's a relationship, So what are your thoughts on this Back to the Future quote? You shouldn't have told me it was Back to the Future. Of course, I would have figured it out. Dr. Emmett Brown, it means your future hasn't been written yet. No one's has. Your future is whatever you make it, so make it a good one. Oh, well, we do, I don't think any of us can complain that our lives are too scripted and predestined and, I don't have any choices because there's so much. I think the how is always the choice, like Viktor Frankl. The how is always the choice. So this is going to happen. I agreed to this. That's what it's all about, is how are you going to navigate it? That's the growth. Yeah. My North Node. Ooh, I love nodes. My North Node is conjunct Ascendant. Is that what you mean? No, Ace of Clubs? No, your North Node is conjunct Ascendant. So it appears my entire life has been curated to get me to self-actualize and stand on my own. Well, there you go. Wow, isn't it amazing? I mean, the timing, the likelihood that you would show up, that I would give you Ascension cardology. Like, nobody's doing, maybe 2 or 3 people think about it, but I sort of discovered it. So, no, I shouldn't say discovered. I did. I discovered it, and now I'm exploring it, and I will write the book on it. But it's about self-actualizing and reaching into our potential. So Ascension cardology is very important to you, Kim. And basically, it's just going to the right and up. And it's taking the magic circle, if you know what that is, and going clockwise. And thinking of it in terms of what you give the world. Oh, is this for me?
Yeah, there's your crown.
When I was little, this tells you how long ago this was, but I used to watch The Romper Room, and she would pick up this magic mirror, and she'd be like, I can see you at home. And she'd be like, I can see Bobby, and I can see Annie and Susan and Kate and Lester, and I was always positive she would see me. I would be like, see me, try, I know you can do it, I'm here. See Paula, say I can see Paula. She never did that, bitch, so I stopped watching. Did you watch Romper Room?
They may not have had it.
What?
Romper Room, wasn't that local to Grand Rapids?
Was it? I don't think it was local. Have you heard of Romper Room? Anyone here who's not from Michigan, who was born in the 60s, the late 50s and the early mid-60s, did you see Romper Room? Pete goes, whoa, Romper Room. Northern Lights 1111 says, I have. Okay, so I know Romper Room was way back. Ontario, Canada.
Holy buckets.
And
I thought
howdy
you-
doody time. Holy buckets. Oh gosh. You know, Dr. Sue and I discovered that we were living within 4 hours of each other for decades. She's from Detroit and I'm from Grand Rapids. Okay, let's see if I missed any comments. Toronto? It was from Toronto? Really? Have you ever seen Murdoch Mysteries? Are you into that? We are so freaking obsessed with. In fact, we're going to watch a little Uhtred and then we're going to soften it up with a little Murdoch Mysteries. I love how they bring all these historical characters from the turn of the century in. Tesla, Charlie Chaplin was last night. It's a Canadian show. You're in Indiana. Oh, and did you see Romper Room, Kim? Have you heard of it? You might be too young. Oh, the magic circle is the order of ascending and descending cards. And it's in the Love Cards book. Oh, I'm not going to dig it out at the moment, but it's the order of, like, if you look at there are 2 rows at the end of your yearly reading, and it's the displacement and environment, the order that those go in. They go in, there are 2 wheels that are turning in opposite directions, and that's the circle of the 45. There are 7 that are in that circle. Okay. Pay to drive, exactly. Although the book is written, we are definitely the player. You may get to improvise. Exactly. It's like, here's the sheet music. Do whatever, Oh my God, I love this. What you talking about? No, you don't remember Romper Room. So anyway, let's go. It's time to go out in a boat and go to the boat. And Stuart, what's the name of that? What's the name of the Weimar Runners show?
William Wegman?
Yeah, what was the name of
the Hardley Boys.
The Hardley Boys. Go on
With
YouTube and look up the Hardley Boys. Fargo. Sure. I'm from Fargo. All my relatives are from North Dakota. And so there's a Michigan, North Dakota sort of amalgamation that you're hearing there. And it's a little bit like the Calgarians. Yeah, in Canada, they do talk a little bit like that. Yeah. So anyway, look up the show, The Hardley Boys. And it's a couple of the William Wegman
a bunch of them.
Weimar runners all dressed up. He would dress them up in clothes, and then he does this mystery, like the Hardy Boys mystery.
But they're hardly boys because not only
they're girls,
they're dogs.
And they're dogs. Oh, don't you know? Okay. Minnesota. Sure. There's a Wisconsin, Minnesota thing in there. Sure. In Chicago. Yeah. The white A. Hey, let's go to Costco. That's what I've been saying lately. Let's go to Costco. It's an American, but was on a Canadian local show. I should have said. Oh, interesting. Well, is there anything anyone wants to know about the Jack of Clubs? Oh my God. Well, I'm doing YouTube. Okay, YouTube lives. Like, where am I going to go and do stand-up? Like, who does that anymore? I'm doing it. Camp has a video about the Oh, does he? I really wish that I knew more about Robert Camp, but my guides told me a long time ago. No, only Richmond told me this, and I'm not kidding you. This is a woo-woo thing. Only Richmond, the writer of the Mystic Test book written in the late 1800s, the first published book to come out on the card system, to bring it out of secret. The Order of the Magi had been keeping it secret and safe. Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Okay, what's that from, Pete? Keep it secret. Keep it safe. But it came out into the world. And only Richmond started talking to me in my head. And I was like, what? Is this only? And he goes, yep. And he just started telling me all kinds of stuff. He's like, spades, represents carbon, and like a tree, it has all the different elements that go into the tree. That's why it looks like a leaf. And it was going on and on. He said something about the king of spades too. And then so I was like, can you give me some corroborating, some kind of information that will prove that this is you? And here's my test. Tell me something that we have in common. And then I looked up only and he's from Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is where I was born. We were both born there. Now I sound like I'm from Queens. I think I was in Queens a couple of lifetimes ago. It sucked. I died young, and it was just really dirty. Everything was so dirty there.
When are we going to hear Boston?
Boston. I don't do Boston. Pack the cat. That's a very good question. Thank you, Kim. Yes. So anyway, the whole reason I told that story, I'm really sorry.
Getting a little bit like a chihuahua.
Getting out there, yeah. The reason he told me that, he told me you will not have any contact really with. I mean, I went to a workshop with Robert Kent, and he said you won't have anything to do with them because you're supposed to figure this out. You're supposed to do your own thing. And that's something that this Jack today brings forth, this gem of wisdom, that originally channeled information is really, really valuable. And that's why there's this kind of social thing that's like, oh my God, where did he just kind of came up with that. That's where the genius is. Hello? That's where genius comes from the genie, from your Uranus card, from the ethers, from all Jacks resonate with Uranus. Keep your eye on Uranus, I'm telling you. Okay, so what are the best partner cards, relationship, business for Jacks? Jack of Spades is your Chal Karma card. Chal Karma. It's your Chai? No. So are you the 7 of clubs or the 10 of clubs? Northern Lights. Okay. So who does a Jack want for a business partner? Okay. First of all, you don't need to be parented. Okay. You might need someone to help you organize or keep you accountable, like somebody like a 6, somebody like Pete here, who's going to maybe keep you on track like a 6 of clubs, but not order you around. No, scratch that. Not the 6 of clubs. They're control freaks. Sometimes they can be, because they deal with the 6, 7, 8, 9, and the King of Spades is their Saturn card. So, and they have an 8 of Spades under them. You know, it all depends on, it depends much more on emotional development than a particular card. And I would be curious about your Enia type. Oh, 10 of clubs. Challenging karma card. Okay, and I would just say a card with whom you have an intense relationship. And it can go either way. You can be the one learning. You can be the one teaching. You can be the functional one or the dysfunctional one. You can be the messy one or the clean one in that relationship. It goes all over. It just, okay, that's my challenge to Robert Camp is it's multi-directional. The invitation is to learn and grow, always. So we're going to be talking 10 of clubs tomorrow, possibly. Jupiter relationships, Enneagram 9 with an 8 wing. Okay. Jupiter relationships. Okay. Yes. Who is Jupiter to you descending? Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, King of clubs. I think it would probably be wise to partner with someone that wasn't a club, who's going to have a different take on it. Diamonds are always really great business partners. You bring the ideas and they bring the resources. Okay. Jupiter ascending, though. Jupiter ascending. I like that. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter is the 9 of hearts or the 7 of diamonds. That would be me. Someone very unconventional like yourself who could honor your genius and your brilliance. And my guides are just saying a teachable learning spirit would be the best for you. Okay.
I think they need someone who can act like the guy holding the string on the balloon. The Jack's the balloon.
The Jack is the balloon. They need someone to hold the string. And
You
that
like
is
that?
from our resident wise 3 of clubs who is making dinner. You're just like McMahon, aren't you? I'm Johnny Carson and you're, what's that guy's?
Just get the sweepstakes.
I almost wet my pants right there.
Ed McMahon. Anybody who's seen Johnny Carson, they know that.
Ed McMahon.
Yeah, Publishers Clearing House sweepstakes. Something like that.
Yes, you need an anchor because you need to be able to fly off. You need to go up. You are the helium balloon. The Jacks go into the stratosphere and they pull the ideas out of the ether, and they just need to know that someone's going to gently keep them tethered or pull them back down when they need it. Yes, exactly. Wow, Kim, you are on it. You're very sharp. I'm not surprised you're the Jack of clubs. You also have a lot of Queen of clubs, genius and brilliance. But the nice thing about being the Jack and not the Queen, Well, and I love the queen, so I'm not going to diss them. But as a jack, you will always be very approachable, open, funny, laughing. You know how to put on that energy so that you're just not intimidating to people. But you got that queen of spades right there, always in your back pocket. Okay, I'm going to close it out. I loved sharing space with you guys. Thank you so much. This is really fun. Okay. Have a good day and take the gift of today into tomorrow. In the card system, we always take the gift of today. What was the gift that the Jack of Clubs gave you today? You'll need it tomorrow. That's all I can tell you. Okay. Tomorrow's going to be more serious. 10 of Clubs. It's challenging. Okay. Love you. Bye.